Dr. Dolly? What do you prefer?
There's a story behind that. My name is Dalal. My father always called me Dolly. I always loved Dolly, because my dad called me Dolly. I mean, my whole life revolved about what my dad died death from cancer and my life, and then my mother has a tremendous place in my heart. She's done a lot of great work for me. Without her, I wouldn't be who I am today. But because of my dad and his cancer and his death from cancer, I became who I am today. So that's really
hold that. You're saying too much. I need you to bring that back. That's awesome. You're gonna make me piece this all back together again.
No, we can start whenever you want to.
I want to welcome everyone to the Vortex Healing Center podcast. I've got Dr. Dalal Akoury with me, and I've met Dr. Dalal a couple years ago, actually. And she is just a super dynamic force for all that is good about traditional medicine and how it brings new things to it. And she keeps learning and keeps making her practice better, and she keeps making people better, and does it in a very intuitive and very integrative way. So Dr. Dalal Akoury, MD, is the founder of AwareMed and the director of the Wellness U program at Cinzia the Spa at North Beach Plantation. That's in North Carolina or South Carolina?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. Mm-hmm. And she's board certified in anti-aging, functional and regenerative medicine, as well as having accumulated more than 20 years of experience in emergency medicine and pediatrics and a master's degree in public health. Dr. Akoury has also served fellowships in pediatric hematology, oncology, and performed research in leukemia and the effects of smoking. I don't know what she hasn't done, because the list keeps going on. I'm going to go a little bit more. There's even more still. And I've been prompted here to interject very quickly here. Have you also worked with autistic patients?
I did. Not back when I started, back when I was a pediatrician. Really, that was not as common as it is right now. But right now, there's so many toxins, and there's so many, unfortunately, exposure that is putting a lot of youngsters at risk for autism from the minute they're born. It's really the saddest thing. A lot of this is really man-made, if I may say.
Yeah, sure feels that way.
It's our doing.
Can I just interject? I'm sorry, I don't really.
Hello, Sue.
I've had an interest in autism for many, many years, and being a naturopath and healer myself, I always brought it back to a blockage in the left brain, right brain connection, which I believe is a lot of why the males get more of it. And I've had some good results with doing the healing on that and clearing it. I know there's different kinds of autism now.
I would like you to be in the camera. We would love to see you.
Yeah, we're having
both of you together. It would be even better.
Yeah, she's got to come over this way. There we go. A little bit more, Sue.
Yeah. We're both. Okay. Everybody is in.
There it is.
I didn't want to take the shine off Barbara.
Well, you're both shiny. The light shines from within.
That's right. That's right. But so Dr. Dalal brings this lifetime of experience along with a unique sensitivity, genuine compassion, and a driving passion to inspire health in everyone. This has prepared Dr. Dolly to be in this place at this time about developing her dream, AwareMed and Wellness U. Dr. Akoury says, my mission is to ignite the spark of health deep within everyone and to allow this sparkle of wellness to shine through everyone's eyes, becoming one with the universe and aligning body, mind, and spirit. And I got to tell you, I just feel so grateful that you've joined us here today, Dr. Dalal, because I know that is how you work. And I'm sure that deep intention on the spiritual side has also helped bring out about healing for many of your patients. So welcome.
Well, I am very honored and very blessed that you have both invited me to be part of your wellness and healing paradigm, because together we're all healers. We're all working together for one common mission, is to restore wellness everywhere. And I mean, I'm so honored. I'm so blessed. So yes, I'm happy to be here.
That's great. And so we were actually having a hard time coming up with the title for today's talk because Dr. Dalal does, as I said, everything. What what I mainly wanted to talk about was the work you've done with cancer patients and patients in remission from cancer. What are some of the techniques that you're working with today that are bringing the best results?
Number one, when you do anything from the heart, it really it always pays off. When I see a patient, no matter who that patient is, and no matter how many people are around me, I zero on that person and no one else. I don't see anybody, I don't hear anybody, and I tune in all the way until I discover a point that could have caused all this 10, 15 years ago. So I work hard until I help them. And the beauty of what happens in my office, which is really so unique, and I'm very grateful for, it's not something that most people would be very proud of, but I'm very proud that every single place I start helping someone to heal, somewhere around during my interview and my talk, they cry. So I feel like this is like a breaking time moment that really means that I was able to touch an area that was instrumental to transform person and cause them to become cancer prone. All along I've been sensitive to cancer because my father passed away from pancreatic cancer when I was 17, the oldest of 4. That really has been a massive turn point in my life, but not only a massive turn point, but it was like a second rebirth for me. I had several rebirths after that, but that was an eye opener. And I knew from then on that I have to do something about cancer. I've made many sacrifices in order for me to be where I am today. I want to be a light for every single man, every single woman, every single person on this planet, to see if you really truly have a dream. And if you want it so bad, no one ever on this planet will stop you. Because if you want it that bad, it's going to happen. So I made many sacrifices. I left my 2 boys at a very young age in Egypt. My husband is a doctor. I was a doctor. I was a doctor because I needed to become a doctor to help cancer. My father died from it. I wanted to be an engineer, but because of him, I decided to be a doctor. And from then on, it never changed. And every single time I tried to help a person, especially a person who has pancreatic cancer, I do every effort to know that my dad did not die in vain.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
So yeah, that's an incredible story. And it's,
oh my goodness.
Yeah. So what specifically are some of the techniques that you're using today? I know a few of them, but do you want to share that with our audience? Maybe
I really want to tell you one thing that I do that is really special. And one is really, I help to make people understand the healing begins from the minute you walk in my door. So the whole office is ready for healing. It's a pro-healing environment. So from the minute you walk in is the culture of healing, it's a culture of love. And every single person that comes to my office is hugged by me. They're men, they're women, they're old, they're young, they're at any age, every single one that I would see, I already hugged at least once, okay? So they're welcome, they're here to heal, and then they have a lot of love. Second,
it's not typical of the traditional medical experience most people have gotten when they go to the doctor.
Well, there's reasons for what I do. Just a second, please. I mean, I have to remove my tears.
No. They're we like knowing that you're speaking from the heart.
Because I'm speaking from the heart, you can see my tears.
That's right. They're here in heart.
So
that's
everything.
authenticity.
So Every single person that comes in, I spend a lot of time with them, and I am very honest and truthful. I ask them questions, and then as I feel that I can get closer, I get myself closer and closer and closer until I know that their boundaries are not allowing me anymore. So I get myself as close as they allow me to. And then
just push it a little bit, I think. I know this from experience.
You know me.
Further. I do.
So I can make, but I try. See, I did not remember this, but now that you reminded me, and I hold their hands, and once I do that, I tell them it's okay, but I tell them, you are the team leader. I am not. I am your true coach. I am the person who has all the tools that you need, that I'm going to put on your under your disposition, and I will show you and I'll help you all through the way. However, I will never ever push you to do one or the other. You are the reason you're going to heal, and you're the reason you're not going to heal, and I'll help you. I never make promises. I never tell them that I now becoming more bold about saying I'm best. And I really, it's not in my nature, but the reason I do that more is because people spend thousands of dollars in Mexico and Spain and Germany, and they end up coming back to me $400,000 later, and then they have to spend $100,000 or $150,000 with me, and I felt horrible. My dream is to be able to take this and get all my results, and I'm praying that God give me the power to continue this, create all my results, take it to Washington, to somewhere where insurance start paying for people choices. If they want to be treated by integrative doctors in the country, there's no need for them to waste their money in Spain, India, or Germany, or Thailand, when we can help them here. Now, that does not mean other countries don't have the means, but every country have to have their own resources and build that teamwork where together we can make a difference and change the world. But it can no longer be a privilege for people who are able to pay or not pay. I think healthcare need to be a preventive care, because even cancer is preventable. If you keep things maintained always, you're never going to have a problem. I talk too much, so you have to interrupt me. You got to interrupt me, because I'll talk for
No, I don't want to interrupt you. This is incredible. This is very good. This is exactly what we want to talk about. Because that leads me into a question, because one of the things that you are quite famous for is using your IV and drip therapy. Do you use that with, what types of different treatments would you use a drip therapy?
See, there is drip therapy really started as part of my work in the emergency realm, okay? And the reason I started to know the power of this, back when I was doing emergency medicine years ago, which actually I stopped 4 years ago only, we were using a concoction called banana bag. And the banana bag had nothing. It was yellow.
I don't know what's in there, but yeah. Okay.
They called it a banana bag, but it really had magnesium, and it has a multivitamin, and it has maybe thiamine, and sometimes folic acid and normal saline, and it was not anything much. But I would get any person who's intoxicated, and if I give them that banana bag, they did great. If I asked a nurse to prepare a banana bag for me, it would be like a nightmare. It's easier to tell them, go ahead and give a morphine shot, than to do a banana bag.
Really? Why is that? What makes it so challenging?
Well, it's just much work. I mean, you have to add stuff together, and I'm me. I'm a very difficult person. If I am going to do whatever is right for the patient, no matter what, even if it means I lose my job. It's just the way I have always been. So I would tell them, why not? So they fight me and this and that. But I never prescribe narcotics unless it's absolutely a must. So I would use natural ways in the ER. So I was getting into sometimes just a resistance. But I saw that the patient's cancer, the alcoholic will mellow down. So I knew there must be, the magnesium is really helpful. And all the B vitamins that are necessary are used as a cofactor for the brain were really helpful. So that is how I knew the power of using intravenously. And then with time, I learned how destroyed our gut is. So everything we take orally is not even absorbed. So, I mean, by the time we get anything in, we're not able to really achieve anything. So I understood there is a power of using intravenous delivery because it works quicker, it goes to the target points faster, and you bypass a lot of issues during the digestive process.
So that's
and the
allowing
absorption.
it's allowing you to put much higher doses in. Is that correct? Than you could take.
Higher
Someone could take.
doses and targeted doses. Actually,
Yeah.
sometimes lower doses, but because they're going directly into the areas where they need to. And then with time, I've learned more and more, and I started using different things. Now, what is happening, there's a lot of infusion centers right now after I started doing my own infusion center. I'm not the only one who did this. There's few of us who started these years ago, but few people just would use the minimal stuff and have very little ingredients and very little powerful ingredients. And yes, they sell them for less expensive, but they don't have the actual powerful ingredient and the sanitation and hygiene and exposure to germs. And, these are things that are extremely important. So at some point, I was kind of disturbed to see a lot of these things popping up all the way. I want them popping up, but I want them to be correct. And if we have to have a McDonald's of this, like a fast food restaurant, fast food IV, I have no problem, but it has to be all done in a proper manner and a very limited menu. When you come to a person like me, then the menu becomes abundant. And because we tweak, I will use everything to tweak things in a particular way to create the blend that is proper to restore the cell energy, restore the cell power, to restore the peptides. I mean, it's a whole system, and I don't mind a lot of people understanding it. But that system is so complicated. I have a nurse practitioner that's been working with me for 6 weeks now, and she only does very little things. She said, I'm not even close to tap the surface.
Uh-oh, did we just lose her? Dr. Dalal. Just marking. That's all right. That's all right. You just suddenly you weren't there. So you were talking about it was okay if lots of other people know how to give these drip therapies, but you add very special things to make each one unique. Is that right?
And that's one of the things. But also, it's so important that these people take this seriously. This is not. This is not a business only. This is people's trusting you. So if people trust you, you want to make sure that you give them everything you have. Hello.
Yeah. There's little Cleopatra. She is.
Oh, wow. She's my cousin.
She is. She is.
Cleopatra, you're beautiful.
Yeah. She is. All right.
So what I'm saying is, let's be caring more than anything else. Let's do it with love. Let's make sure that we have good ingredients. let's make sure we tell people that it's, if I call it immunotherapy, it's really truly a powerful immunotherapy, but not just put homeopathic doses of things and say it's the whole thing. And people need to
Yeah.
become more aware for their own selves, the difference between fake versus real. You know, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. That does
Yeah.
not mean it should not be affordable, but you need to really be able to do your own homework and
But
see.
Dr. Dalal, you have, give me an idea of your typical daily schedule, because I know you have incredible work hours. You know, you deal with celebrities, you do talks, you're a speaker, you run this clinic, you've got things going on all over the country. What's a typical day look like for you?
That is so funny. I, uh, it's a long day. It's a very long day, but I don't know how I manage to be happy all the time. You know, it's a very long day. So
Because that's what I really want to dive into. So how do you take care of yourself while you're giving care to so many people who are in such pain usually when they come to see you? Because that in itself, healing the healers is something we work with a lot here, because most healers are have it hard time to find time for themselves. So how do you manage, how do you take care of yourself?
okay, number one, I'm so grateful that you discussed Heal the Healer. You'll see that I've created programs for Heal the Healers because if the healer is not healed, if the healer energy is off, it cannot heal. Actually,
Yeah.
it can make people sicker. So
Yeah.
we have the duty. It's a duty. It's a duty for everyone to either work with you or we work together and have more healers to heal. Because it's our duty to be healed energetically, at least, in order
Yeah.
for us to touch others. Because
Yeah.
if we're coming in a very energetic, negative energetic place, we create a chaotic move around us, and we disturb the whole planet of those people around us. So we set the tone. So if we're not actually in at least in the moment with the patient, if we're not healed, we are actually a turmoil.
Yeah.
So we're not good.
I agree with you on that. I agree with you.
So
Yeah.
we need to really have an energy of ours that is at peace, and it's an energy that's giving negative ions. We're giving, we're producing more electrons to give love and this like that. Number one, I think one of the things that really helped me the most is I'm a loving person and I love people. And most people have no idea that love in itself is a healer. So I love constantly and I shine love. And I'm not saying I'm a shiny person or anything. I mean, it shines out of me. I mean, I walk and people know I love them. It's not that I intend to anything, but it's just me. I mean, I will touch anybody. Anybody who's hurting, I will do whatever I can. It's just the way I am. So I think that heals me. Number two, when I heal someone, I heal myself. I heal. I heal by healing. I mean, it's just, I should pay them. I should pay my patient for the healing I receive. So I receive healing back. So it's the truth. I heal with them. So that's another thing. And then anytime I'm just, I have to get myself to center every time when I deal with patients. And that restores me because I teach them to get to that
So are you
zone.
using a mindfulness technique or meditation, or what do you call it when you bring that back to center and bring that back to self? Do you have a word for it when you're like, no, I need to do that?
The beautiful things about everything I do is the truth. I'm telling you something that I know is true. Everything is in the universe. I haven't discovered anything. You've not discovered anything. There's nothing new under the sun. Is that if you're able to really connect with that and you're able to tap into that universal force and you're part of it, you're really able to get from that and share. So people may call what I do meditation, may they call it a breath-centered, breathing technique. I call it me. and And me is I need to really, and I'm able to do it in a second. You know, I can go from here to here in a second, and I carry it in my voice and I share it with people. I mean, I can feel it happens, and I can get them all the way down here. And I don't know what my technique is. I mean, everybody can call it mindfulness. Some people can call meditation. Some people call it whatever they call it. But I know that every one of us is able to reach that state if we're able to get into a oneness with the universe, but that takes a long time. But when we get still, when we stop thinking, when we monitor our breathing, when we focus on nothing, when we clear the cloud. And it's really important because I tell all my patients, unless you're in that zone, I don't care what I give you, you're not gonna get better. So I get them to that zone most of the time before I do anything. And I tell them if they're not in that zone, don't waste your money here. And I mean that with all my heart.
I honestly, I don't think I've ever heard a medical doctor applying these principles in their practice. And I really want to applaud you for that. Is that how you would define consciousness? Or how would you define consciousness?
You know, I really believe that once you really tune into you and tune into universe and know that we're all one, we really are. And we're all moving together, we're swaying together, we're moving together, we're energetically working together. That's big part of the big, you know, universal consciousness. So we're one conscious, but, you know, it's just being into that moment of being infinite, because we are infinite. We are infinite. And I tell all my patients, this is just what you see about who you are, but you are this much more. And some people energy is out there, and I think mine is up here. And that's why I can feel the energy around. But most of us really think this is, oh, I'm sick here, help my head, help my throat. It's not that. It's way beyond. But I do a lot of things to restore cellular energy. Restore the frequency of every single part of the body, detox people in a very gentle, kind way, make the milieu inside very clean, and pro-healing, not pro-destruction. I work a lot on brain work because it's massive in terms of restoring the medical parts of the body, because everything is tied into that limbic system. And most people,
that the hard way. Sure.
So really, I do everything that could be done anywhere in the world, from ozone IV to intravenous UBI to B17 to mistletoe to low dose chemo. Whatever works. Because what works for you may not work for somebody else. But all the tools that can be used, I use them. And I also ask for guidance. I ask for guidance, and I have a lot of humility, humbleness. You know, I believe that it's divine.
Other doctors around the planet to learn these same skills that you're mentioning.
I don't know if it's I don't know what I do, but I do. My intentions are really to really tell people I've really healed. I mean, I really helped a lot of people with very end-stage cancer. I really tell you, I mean, people who were told, go home, die. And 4 years later, they're still with me. And never lost a hair, most of them, you know, so, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Do you have any questions?
No, I'm just really enjoying listening.
So I want to dive a little deeper into you. You were almost hitting on what that greater aspect is that you channel from the universe to help and ask for guidance. what is your definition of God, Dr. Dolly?
I love him. I know he's here. I know he cares about every single one of us. I know he's so much bigger than everything on the planet. I know he's the creator. I would never tell people who to believe in. I happen to choose to believe in Jesus, and I happen to believe to be a Christian. I respect everybody. I pray for them, and I know that God loves them, and the same way as I love my children and my dogs or whatever. If I love my son, if that amazing power who taught us love, how do we know love? It's all about the love. The love is everywhere. I mean, he's given us a son. When he said he gives us his son, well, that's the sun. We live by the sun. The vitamin D is coming from the sun. So, I mean, I happen to say it's the sun, the Son, the Holy Spirit, but, you know, people can call him whatever. But to me, everybody has to work on the relationship, which is a vertical relationship, and the religion is a horizontal relationship. I like both. I love both. The horizontal relationship grounds us, keeps us down, and the spiritual relationship, we've always forgot it. And it's just, you have to build it. And it's just you and him, you and that power. And you tap into the power and you become the power.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what I said. I haven't prepared it. I don't know what I said, but that's how I feel. It came that true because that's how I feel.
I just want to go back to the vitamin D, and you say that's where we receive it from the sun, which is true. But do you think there's a correlation now between, you know, the great big deficit many people are feeling in vitamin D? It's like a plague over here. Everybody has to have vitamin D supplements, and yet we have beautiful sunshine.
Well,
We're just not absorbing.
There is many things that are happening. You know, there is vitamin D is a hormone, is no longer considered just a vitamin, okay? Because it's essential to maintain everything from cancer, protect you from cancer, to hormonal balance, to everything. So vitamin D is much more essential than we ever thought, including autism. I mean, vitamin D is essential. The key to vitamin D, there is 3 levels of absorptions and conversions, okay? If you're getting the vitamin D from the sun and you have a skin that is totally destroyed, don't expect that to penetrate, okay? Putting all these layers of all the nasty stuff, and the connection between the sun and us right now, with all the turbulence that we have, with all the material damage and all the toxin that we're infusing the universe with, we are really making like a fog area of dampness that is.
When you say toxins, are you speaking more of EMFs, like electromagnetic?
EMF is one, but also all the biohazard that we're dumping in the air, all the toxins that we're dumping, all these are affecting the layer of the ozone layer, affecting everything. I mean, we have lost our ozone layer in the air. You know, that's really a massive, huh?
We have a huge ozone hole over us in Tasmania.
It's literally a hole. So you really can't go outside without sun protection or a hat, or, you know.
But we have no ozone. Do you understand? We've destroyed the system. That's one thing. Second, we're using sun protectors that are more damaging than anything else. We have natural sun protectors that you could do, even from raspberry oil. You know, most people don't even know that. Raspberry oil has such a strong sun protection. So
what did you say? Raspberry oil?
Raspberry.
Did you say
raspberries?
Wow. Yeah, like the ones we eat. Okay. Like, is it from the seeds of the raspberry?
Yeah, like that means when you get raspberry oils, they have a very powerful anti-sunscreen. perfect sunscreens.
Yeah.
Almond oil. So if you make a combination of almond oil and raspberry oils, you really, you're creating your own masterpiece that is not destructive, instead of all these nasty things that are causing you damage. Does that make sense?
Right.
Now, there's one pearl here. It's the truth. You know, you can read about natural sunscreens. Okay. Second, you have a conversion that happened at the skin level. There's a conversion that happens at the liver level, and there's a conversion that happened at the kidney level. How many of us have all the elements that are necessary to make those conversions happen? Our mitochondria is done. We don't have a mitochondria that works. Mitochondria produce energy. So if we don't have a healthy mitochondria, don't expect anything to happen, okay? So we all have a toxic liver, no matter how good it is or not. Every single one of us had Tylenol. Every single one of us at some point of our life. So we already have damage to some minor damage to the liver. Then there's a second transformation that happened at the kidney in order for the vitamin D that we get from the sun become active. That's the beauty of the interaction between the environment and the universe and us. There's a complete dance that is happening.
Yeah, that's awesome. Any other questions, Sue?
No, I'm still getting my head around that one.
So tell us, Doc.
And when you take vitamin D, if you take vitamin D without oil, it's not going to be absorbed.
Yeah.
Because vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin. And sometimes vitamin D deficiency means vitamin A deficiency. So at times you can never restore vitamin D level if you not have adequate vitamin A level. That's another pearl. Please make sure everybody knows that.
Yeah. Yeah. So what does your spiritual practice look like on a daily basis, Dr. Dolly?
You know, I went to the priest many times and I said, you know, I don't go to church as much as I want to. I mean, I don't go every Sunday like everybody else does. And they said, if you really are helping people or touching people, you know, you're doing God's work. And I know in my heart, I pray a lot at night before I sleep. I always give the thank to the divine. I always thank God for the wisdom that I have and for all the gifts that I have. Sometimes the gifts are very painful. And I say, I don't want those gifts. But now I learn, I love all those gifts, good, bad, or ugly. They are my gifts. And I appreciate them because those gifts turned out to be the diamonds that I did not pay attention to. The gift of my dad's dying from pancreatic cancer is a diamond to help tons of people. So that was his mission on the planet. So I've learned that every single thing that happens because, and it's hard to understand that. And it's not been painless, but yes, it is painful at times.
So
but now I learned
that leads me right into the next question. What do you think happens when we die, Dr. Dolly?
I wish
We're almost done. She's going to get her dinner. I hear something's cooking in the background.
I wish I can tell you that. I know one thing. I believe in oneness. I believe in the divine. I trust him to the point that I don't know where I am from, where I'm going. But I know that I want to do what I'm supposed to do. And I know I'm here on a mission. I don't know why. I believe it. I feel it. I live it.
That's so awesome. So
there's one thing I want to tell you about me. I want to help women. I want to help men. I want to help everyone on the planet to know they can. They should. They have to.
That's awesome. Do you have any other questions for us, Sue? All right. So what's the best way for people to get in touch with you, Dr. Dolly?
Well, you know, I'm all over.
Everywhere. She's everywhere.
My Facebook is Dalal Akoury, on Twitter's I check everything personally. I do my own stuff personally. LinkedIn, Dr. Dalal Akoury, Dalal Akoury MD. Also, my email is
I'm gonna include that in. Is it the Hotmail address or is there a different address?
No. That is really just super.
Just tell me what address, and I'll put it in the. The thing so that when people watch this, they can click on that your business
Okay.
email.
I think
you can send that to me now. We'll add that in.
It's xostem. I think Dr. Hold on, let me get you my email. Oh,
we can do that in a minute, but I really just wanted to thank you for coming on, Dr. Dalal, and we really appreciate having you with us. And again, I really honor what you're doing for so many people, and I just wish you the best of success, and that you can bring more of your light and love and your amazing medical skills to more and more people.
I am very honored. I'm very blessed. I'm very grateful to be with you both. I would love to really help in any way I can. If you want to do Zoom with a lot of your people, and if you want to do webinars together, if you want to do something for Heal the Healers, if you want me to create a training program of some sort for anything, if I can help.
Yeah, you're picking around a lot of ideas. Yeah, I think we're going to.
You may regret saying that.
You know, I really feel
so we're going to get
getting there. We'll
have
find,
no idea. Together we're stronger. Together we're power. You do, I win. We do, we win. We do, everybody wins. We do together, everyone wins. It's always a win-win. It's never going to be one win without the others. And my grandmother, you know, most people say, everything I learned is what I learned from my grandmother. And I'm sure my children will say this about my mother. So my grandmother said, you can never applaud with one hand. It needs two hands to applaud. So
That's
alone,
true.
I can only do that, but I'm not applauding. Together.
That's a great Buddhist koan too. What is the sound of one hand clapping?
Yeah.
One hand clapping is nothing. What is it?
Yeah.
It's like giving this, but clapping. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, we really appreciate your time today, Dr. Dolly.
Thank you, ladies.